There is light in me. I can't lose sight of it. And the colors come flooding back. Art, life, death, all I've seen, all made clear.
What up, fam? This is the final patch of the year, introducing a new champion, Hwei. Let's take a quick look at his skill set. Hwei can make different combinations with two of his non-ultimate abilities. QQ deals AoE % health damage to enemies. QW is also an AoE skill, dealing additional damage to immobilized or isolated enemies. QE is an AoE skill as well, dealing magic damage per second and slowing enemies in the area. As for combinations that begin with W, WQ increases the speed of all allies in range, and WW grants shields to all allies in range. WE is similar to Nami's E skill, granting additional damage to allies' auto attack and skills. For combinations that begin with E, EQ fears the target, EW lights up an area of effect, dealing damage and binding enemies when they enter the area. EE pulls enemies in range, dealing damage and slowing them down. Finally, Hwei's ultimate launches a projectile that gradually grows in size, deals increasing damage over time and slows enemies at an increasing rate per stack. Upon reaching a certain size, it explodes, dealing AoE damage. The new champion Hwei will be available on December 5th. He's going to be possibly the most challenging champion ever with a lot of skill combinations, but if used well, the impact he inflicts on the Rift will be quite remarkable. Now let's take a look at the final champion patch of the year. Azir's W damage is getting a slight increase. Xante gets buffs to his W damage ratio and mana cost. Qiyana's base mana and growth mana will be buffed. Lucian's early E skill cooldown will be significantly reduced. Sari, who's been stuck at tier 5 for quite a while now, is getting buffed on her growth AD and W damage. The minimum duration of knockup in Braum's ult will increase from 0.3 seconds to 0.6 seconds. The late game cooldown in Gragas's passive, which is the key to his sustain, will be reduced. Leona will receive buffs to her W's resistance and ult damage. Mordekaiser gets a nice buff to his Q's ratio, and his ult can now be triggered even if he loses vision while casting it. Once again, it's Briar who gets the nerf of the day. She gets nerfed on her base armor and Q skill, as well as a small nerf to her W's attack speed increase and her E skill's damage reduction. The ratio in her ult has been adjusted as well, but she won't be nerfed until next year since this is the final patch of the year. Ivern got a nerf to his base health and the slow rate of his E skill. Okay, so that wraps up the patch note. I'd like to officially thank you for watching our patch notes throughout the year. We've had a hell of a ride this season. I will see you next year.